Mysterious music plays as title fades in welcome to the shadows of natural selection, where the most bewildering performances unfold in the name of reproduction. I'm your guide into the realm of nature's most enigmatic courtship behaviors. Rituals so strange they challenge our understanding of evolution itself. In the grand theater of life, nothing drives more extraordinary behavior than the primal urge to pass on genetic material. What we're about to witness together isn't merely reproduction. It's an ancestral dance of survival encoded in DNA, manifesting in ways that will leave you spellbound. The mating ritual, that cryptic intersection of biology and behavior, serves as nature's most mesmerizing puzzle. Why would a male spider risk death to approach a female? What evolutionary calculus makes a bird spend thousands of hours perfecting an elaborate dance that serves no purpose beyond attraction? These questions lead us into the labyrinth of natural selection, where the most successful reproducers shape the future of their species through behaviors that often appear incomprehensible to human observers. Yet within this apparent chaos lies an intricate order, a code we're only beginning to decipher. Let us first venture into the misty forests of New Guinea, where birds of paradise perform transformations so complete they seem supernatural to the untrained eye. The superb bird of paradise metamorphoses before our eyes, his ordinary form dissolving into a hovering oval of deepest black, pierced only by electric blue eyes and an iridescent smile. This avian shapeshifter doesn't merely dance. He becomes an entirely new entity, a living optical illusion designed to captivate the female's attention in the dim forest understory. His feathers, arranged with mathematical precision, absorb 99.95% of light, creating one of the blackest natural materials known, against which his blue patches seem to float in disembodied brilliance. Equally spellbinding, though miniature in scale, the peacock spider orchestrates what might be the most intricate performance relative to body size in the animal kingdom. Measuring merely 5 millimeters, this arachnid performer unfurls a hidden abdominal flap adorned with psychedelic patterns, while his third pair of legs, tipped with white, wave hypnotically above his head. The intensity of his vibrations, perfectly calibrated to the female's sensory receptors, creates an irresistible frequency that speaks directly to her neural pathways. Meanwhile, across the rainforests of South America, the golden-collared mannequin performs the impossible, a backward slide that predates Michael Jackson's moonwalk by millions of years, executed with a wing snap that breaks the sound barrier. Perhaps most baffling among avian architects is the bowerbird, whose males construct elaborate structures that serve no purpose beyond aesthetic attraction. These avian artists spend months gathering specific colored objects, blue bottle caps, yellow flowers, crimson berries, arranging them with an apparent sense of composition that challenges our understanding of aesthetic perception. Some species build towering spires reaching 2 meters in height, others craft perfect avenues aligned with the rising sun, all meticulously maintained and defended. What we witness here transcends mere instinct. It approaches something unsettlingly like artistic expression, raising profound questions about the origins of beauty and its perception across species boundaries. Beneath the wavering surface of Japanese waters, an even more inexplicable artist labors in solitude. The male pufferfish, no larger than your palm, creates vast geometric sand mandalas through ceaseless fin movement, symmetrical patterns spanning 7 feet in diameter, yet carved with millimeter precision. For 7 days and nights without rest, he crafts this submarine masterpiece, incorporating shell fragments and luminescent particles at critical junctures. The finished creation, resembling an ancient cosmic symbol, features subtle ridges that transform ocean currents into concentric ripples, creating a hypnotic effect visible from above. Yet within a week of completion, this ephemeral artwork dissolves back into the formless seabed, a testament to nature's indifference toward even its most spectacular creations. Gift-giving emerges as another cryptic language of courtship among certain species, though these offerings often conceal macabre intentions. The male balloon fly presents his potential mate with an elaborate silk-wrapped package, sometimes containing prey, sometimes merely empty silk, while the nursery web spider proffers dead insects wrapped in silk shrouds. These nuptial gifts serve multiple deceptive functions. They distract the female from cannibalistic impulses, demonstrate resource-gathering prowess, and often contain chemical compounds that manipulate the recipient's behavior. Even more cunningly, some male dance flies offer worthless tokens wrapped to mimic valuable gifts, distracting females while transferring sperm. A reproductive strategy balancing precariously between deception and seduction. Now we enter perhaps the most disturbing chamber in this gallery of reproductive mysteries, rituals where courtship intertwines inseparably with death. The female praying mantis, often while in the very act of mating, begins consuming her partner headfirst. More chilling still, the male's decapitated body continues the reproductive act with increased vigor. His copulatory movements controlled by ganglia in his abdomen now liberated from brain inhibition. Equally notorious, the black widow spider's deadly reputation stems from similar post-copulatory cannibalism. Yet recent research reveals the astonishing truth: males actively somersault into the female's fangs, positioning their bodies for optimal consumption. This apparent suicide serves an evolutionary purpose. Cannibalized males fertilize more eggs, and the female, nutritionally satiated, becomes less receptive to subsequent suitors. Perhaps no mating system disturbs human sensibilities more profoundly than that of the deep-sea anglerfish, where the boundary between individuals dissolves entirely. When the tiny male, sometimes 1/10 the female's size, finally locates a mate in the abyssal darkness, he bites into her flesh, triggering an irreversible transformation. His body fuses with hers through a process of cellular dissolution, blood vessels connecting as his organs atrophy one by one until nothing remains but testes, eternally releasing sperm into her bloodstream. What began as two separate beings becomes a chimeric entity, the ultimate reproductive symbiosis, where individuality itself is sacrificed on the altar of genetic continuity. The antechinus, a small Australian marsupial mouse, takes reproductive urgency to its logical extreme. Each mating season spans just 2 frenzied weeks during which males completely cease eating, devoting every calorie to marathon mating sessions lasting up to 14 hours with multiple females. This sexual frenzy triggers a fatal cascade of physiological collapse. Their immune systems shut down, internal bleeding begins, fur falls out, and organs fail one by one. By the ritual's end, not a single male survives, having traded their entire future existence for reproductive opportunity. Scientists have identified the genetic switch controlling this programmed death, revealing it as no accident but a carefully calibrated evolutionary strategy. Beyond the visible spectrum lies perhaps the most enigmatic dimension of courtship: the chemical communications that remain largely imperceptible to human senses. Female Luna moths release pheromones detected by males from 7 miles away, their feathery antennae containing receptors sensitive enough to capture single molecules. The leopard slug's hermaphroditic partners perform an aerial ballet, suspended by mucus threads as their intertwined bodies spiral downward, bright blue reproductive organs extending impossibly from their heads to exchange sperm midair. Meanwhile, male salamanders deposit complex spermatophores, biochemical packages containing not just genetic material, but cocktails of proteins that physically alter the female's reproductive tract and influence her subsequent mating choices through cryptic neurochemical pathways. As our exploration concludes, we're left not with answers, but with deeper questions about the nature of attraction itself. What begins as simple natural selection creates labyrinthine behaviors of staggering complexity, rituals that seem to transcend their reproductive function and enter realms approaching art, sacrifice, and transformation. Perhaps most perplexing is the mirror these rituals hold to our own species' elaborate courtship behaviors. The peacock's tail and the human sports car may serve similar signaling functions. The bowerbird's collection and human material displays may speak the same evolutionary language. In witnessing nature's most bewildering mating rituals, we glimpse not just the strange behaviors of distant species, but shadowy reflections of our own mysterious drives, encoded in the ancient syntax of survival. Until next time, keep searching for the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary world around you. Mysterious music fades out.